Daily Trust News Center. This is the News Hour.
Tonight on News Hour, Sultan of Sokoto announces sighting of crescent moon, signaling end of Ramadan fast. Muslim faithful in last-minute preparations for Eid al-Fitr celebration. 24 persons arrested for alleged armed robbery and cattle rustling in Nasarawa State. Federal, state and local governments share 714 billion naira as March allocation. On the foreign scene, United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres calls for a 3-day ceasefire marking the Eid al-Fitr holiday. Hello and welcome to the News Hour on Trust TV. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for joining. And now the details. The crescent moon has been sighted in Nigeria, meaning that Eid al-Fitr celebrations will begin in Nigeria on Friday. With the announcement by the National Moon Sighting Committee, Eid al-Fitr prayers will be held across Nigeria just after the sunrise on Friday amid elaborate arrangements being made for the occasion. The Muslim faithful in Nigeria have been eagerly awaiting the announcement of the sighting of the moon. Meanwhile, ahead of the 2023 Salah celebrations in Katsina State, residents are defying the scorching sun and trooping to the markets to make last-minute purchases. While some residents go to the markets to buy food items for Salah meals, others are buying ready-made clothing materials, shoes and other basic necessities for the festivities. Abdullahi Amadi reports.
When Trust TV news crew visited the popular Erkutungu market in Katsina Metropolis, almost all the vegetable dealers have exhausted their stock, even as customers were seen waiting for new supply. Some traders here, who are lamenting the low patronage of their goods and services, attribute the situation to inflation and economic downturn.
You are selling foodstuff. The market is not coming smoothly. Actually, people are not buying things just because the scarcity of money, and they have intention of buying, but there is no cash. They don't have money.
We are preparing well about the Salah. Since we are here in the market, we are trying to buy chicken to make it comfortable and amazing for us. Yes, we thank God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are grateful. The way we see this Ramadan, may we see another year Ramadan, inshallah.
There are also emerging markets that operate day and night to enable customers buy what they need any time of the day without hindrance. Meanwhile, tailors in Katsina are struggling to meet their customers' deadline to deliver their Salah clothes amidst frequent power outages.
I'm almost through now. Why? Because there's no much work compared to the previous time. And coupled with NEPA problem.
While others are busy with other aspects of the Salah celebrations, these women are concerned with makeup, weaving, and henna decorations to celebrate Salah.
These decorations, weaving, and other forms of beautifications have always witnessed impressive patronage in the past. But now, due to so many factors, a very insignificant number of people is patronizing our services. However, we thank God because I had to engage 20 workers to help me meet up.
At motor parks, a fewer number of passengers were seen trying to travel to other places for this year's Salah festivities compared to the previous years.
The price is still the way it is because last 2 weeks I went to Zaria. I paid 2,500 and today is 2,500. They didn't increase anything.
Observers say this year's Salah festivities may witness low turnout of people due to hard times, even as Katsina Emirate Council has indicated its resolve to organize a Durbar. Abdullahi Ismail Amadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Now, barely 24 hours to the 2023 Salah celebration, there is a bit of unease among Muslim shoppers as many find themselves struggling to afford the cost of festivities. This is due to the constant changes in real market prices and cost of goods and services, which are constantly on the rise and eroding the spending power of several Nigerians. Chamung Dabeng in this report feels the pulse of traders and consumers alike as the Salah shopping gradually winds down.
According to the National Bureau of Statistics' most recent Consumer Price Index report, Nigeria's inflation hiked from 21.91% to 22.04%. Since the advent of COVID-19, prices of goods and services have continuously risen, giving Nigerians very little hope. Celebrations in Nigeria usually have consumers trooping in and out of the market. However, traders in Abuja's Utako market say they are struggling to sell their goods despite the Salah season.
We normally the Salah period, the lunch and buy, whether Muslim or no Muslim. We all celebrate Salah. But this season, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But as of now, we don't have market. And the goods is so expensive.
Yes, it is moving, but not like it was before now. The sales have reduced. We hardly have people coming to buy goods like they used to before the Ramadan fast started. I sell 100 crates of eggs in a week, but this one has been here for a week and still hasn't finished. And that is because the market is not moving like before. Our friend said colleagues have all traveled. They will only resume after Salah because the market sales are slow.
Since I've been in Abuja for a while now, for over 11 years, this one is the worst. We have not enjoying the Salah. We have not even seen anything. We normally sell things for baking, oil, as in flour. They will be moving, but this one, nobody's asking us how much. You can see the market everywhere is empty. They are not coming. I don't know what is the problem. I don't know whether they have not paid them or something. Me, I've been thinking it's because of the Azumi they are doing that make the market dull.
With the market seemingly empty, it is evident that Nigerians are no longer able to celebrate as they once did. Hafsat Abdul Malik, a resident of Abuja, speaks on celebrating in a tight economy.
The economic situation in Nigeria is very biting. It's biting in the sense that it affects everybody. You go to the market, the price of commodity has gone up, and there is no income, there is no corresponding income to match it. Looking at it from the perspective of a Muslim, we are being taught to give thanks to Allah in every situation, and you don't compare yourself to others.
Hafsat is advising Nigerians to focus on the reward that comes at the end of the 30-day fasting. Traders and consumers are calling on the Nigerian government to fix the economy in order to reduce the continuous erosion of the purchasing power of the Naira. Chamun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Moving on, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the immediate suspension from office of the resident electoral commissioner of Adamawa State, Hudu Yunusa Ari. A statement from Willie Bassi, Director, Information in the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, explained that suspension will succeed pending the completion of investigations by the Inspector General of Police on the conduct and actions of the REC during the supplementary election in Adamawa State. If found liable, President Buhari has directed that Ari should be immediately prosecuted by the Inspector General of Police. Also, the President has directed the Inspector General of Police, Director General of the Department of State Services, and the Commandant General of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps to probe the roles played by their personnel in aiding and abating the suspended REC. If found culpable, President Buhari ordered that appropriate disciplinary actions should be meted out to them. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has tackled the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress in Adamawa State, Aishatu Binani Ahiru, over claims that electoral officials colluded with the incumbent governor and candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Ahmadu Fintiri. In a statement on Thursday, INEC National Commissioner Festus Okoye said that the insinuations by Binani are fabrications and mischievous. Binani, who has since approached the court to challenge the victory of Fintiri, had in a statement on Tuesday claimed that some INEC national officers from Abuja held a night meeting in Adamawa State Government House. Okoye further stated that Adamawa was not in any way targeted in the deployment of national commissioners and other officials. The president-elect, Bola Tinubu, has announced a 13-man presidential inauguration committee to plan a week-long presidential inauguration event. Tinubu, in a letter to the secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustapha, announced a former senator representing Borno North and current National Deputy Chairman North of the All Progressives Congress, Abubakar Kyari, as the coordinator and director of finance and budget of the committee. The executive director, business development at the Nigeria Export-Import Bank, Stella Okotete, will serve as the head of Secretariat, Planning and Monitoring. Other members of the committee include Makinde Araoye, Bayog Anonuga, Dr. Betta Edu, Colonel Abdulaziz Yaradua, Zainab Buba Marwa, and Samira Sadiq. Also appointed are Abu Andrew Abu, Danladi Bako, Hadiza Muhammad Kabir, Donald Wokoma, Bishop Adegbite, and Imam Fuad. Tinubu is expected to be inaugurated as president on May 29, 2023. In a similar vein, Zamfara State Governor-elect Dauda Lawal has constituted a 60-member transition committee to plan for the May 29 handover from the outgoing administration of Governor Bello Muhammad. The governor-elect, in a statement signed by Suleiman Idris on Wednesday, disclosed that the committee is charged with the responsibility of liaising with the outgoing administration of Governor Bello Muhammad ahead of the May 29th swearing-in of the new government. Former Inspector General of Police Mohammed Abubakar will chair the committee, while Hamza Mohammed will serve as secretary. The committee's primary task is to develop a clear framework of liaison and establish a clear channel of formal communication with the outgoing administration for a smooth transition. Justice Hamza Muazu of an FCT High Court sitting at Maitama on Thursday adjourned until May 12 to rule in the preliminary objection filed by the embattled chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Abure, and one other. The other respondents are the National Secretary, Farouk Ibrahim, Clement Ojuku, and Oluchi Opara. They are challenging the jurisdiction of the court to entertain a matter filed by Martins Esikpali, John, and 9 others seeking the removal of the 4 respondents through an ex parte motion brought before the court. Justice Muazu adjourned until May 12 after listening to the submissions of the counsel in the matter. The Nasarawa State Police Command has arrested 27 suspects over alleged kidnapping, armed robbery, and cattle rustling in different parts of the state. Public Relations Officer of the command, Ramhan Nansel, made this known while parading the suspects in Lafia. Abubakar Abdullahi sent in the report, as presented from our studio.
Parading the suspects before journalists, the command's public relations officer, Ramhan Nansel, said some of the kidnapping suspects are known faces in some communities, adding that several complaints have been lodged against them until their eventual arrest. He explained that the activities of one of the kidnapping syndicates came to the knowledge of the command when it became apparent that people hired them to kidnap their relations for ransom.
On the 10th of April 2023, at about 0800 hours, the police command, in its bid to stem the tide of kidnapping at Nasarawa, Igon, and environs, carried out a joint operation in collaboration with the military personnel and vigilante group at Alogani and Igon Hills, where 4 kidnapped victims were rescued unhurt and 6 suspected kidnappers were arrested.
He further said the notorious kidnapper, Shoaibu Muhammad, also known as Chidawa, that has been on the wanted list of the command, also fell in the command's net.
Based on actionable intelligence, one Dahi Rusani, a male of Duma, local government area of the state, was arrested for hiring the same syndicate that was hired to perpetrate the kidnapping at Popsy Filling Station in Madar Station, to kidnap his brother-in-law.
The PPRO said other suspects arrested by the command in addition to the kidnappers were 5 armed robbers and 2 cattle rustlers, while arms and ammunition were recovered from them. Some of the suspects admitted to have committed the offense they were accused of. Meanwhile, the command said it has deployed adequate personnel across the nooks and crannies of the state to ensure a hitch-free Eid-Fitr celebrations.
The police in Imo State say that they have killed 1 person and injured several others in a gun duel between some hoodlums and their operatives. Police Public Relations Officer Henry Okoye said in a statement that the feed followed a distress call received from the command's emergency control room that a robbery incident was ongoing at Sokotex Lodge along Amaze Road by the Federal Polytechnic Nekede back gate. He said that the operatives of Nekede Police Divisional Headquarters swiftly mobilized to the scene, and on sighting them, the hoodlums opened fire but were overpowered by the superior firepower of the police. Okoye said in the process, 1 of the hoodlums was neutralized while others escaped to the adjoining bush with various degrees of gunshot injuries. You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at how incentivization will boost shoemaking industry. Details of this and more after the break. Welcome back. You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV, and here's a look at the top stories again. Muslim faithful in last-minute preparations for Eid al-Fitr celebration. 24 persons arrested for alleged armed robbery and cat rustling in Nasarawa State. Moving on, Delta State government on Thursday confirmed the death of 6 persons who lost their lives to rainstorm and windstorm in Oko community, Oshimili South local government area of the state. Addressing journalists in the Delta State, the Commissioner for Information, Charles Aniagu, who confirmed the sad development during a news conference in Asaba, the state capital, said 5 others who sustained various degrees of injuries were being treated at the hospital. Aniagu also said that a 10-year-old boy was swept away at Okotumi area of Akpanam. That's Okpanam, a community in Oshimili North local government area. The state government, according to him, was coordinating rescue efforts to recover the boy. A petrol tanker laden with products on Wednesday crashed at Udu Bridge in Udu local government area of Delta State. The incident forced passengers to trek long distances while owners of the tanker made frantic efforts to move it away from the bridge. Road users called on men of the road safety and other relevant authorities to remove the truck from the bridge to give way for free flow of traffic. As at the time of filing this report, road safety officials and men of the Nigeria Police were seen on both sides of the bridge controlling traffic to allow for free flow of motorists and pedestrians. Meanwhile, the Delta State government, at a press conference by the Commissioner for Information, Charles Aniagu in Asaba, appealed to residents to be patient as efforts were on to evacuate the tanker for free flow of traffic. The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, says at least 2.2 million Nigerian children did not receive a single dose of vaccine between 2019 and 2021. The UNICEF Chief of Health in Nigeria, Eduardo Sellers, said that in Abuja on Thursday that Nigeria trailed behind India in the number of children not immunized during the period. He noted that the number of Nigerian children not immunized remain high in spite of efforts made by the country. He stressed that Nigeria is currently nowhere near the global vaccination goal because of the challenges encountered in immunization programs. To be fully immunized, children under 5 years of age are expected to receive BCG, a vaccine against tuberculosis, oral polio vaccine, DPT vaccine, which is a combination of vaccines against diphtheria, pertussis, and tetanus. They are also expected to receive hepatitis A and B vaccines, measles vaccine, yellow fever vaccine, and supplemental vitamin A. Experts have called for proper funding and monitoring of early childhood education as a means of addressing the growing social vices in the country, as well as checkmating the production of half-baked graduates in the society. The experts point to the studies that have shown that failure to provide quality early childhood education will limit children's future by denying them opportunities to reach their full potential. The report.
Countries that are serious about excelling in the competitive global system will develop their human capital. That human capital is needed to reduce inequalities and promote peaceful and prosperous societies. Early childhood education plays a crucial role in the molding of human capital, but these formative years of a child are often beset with challenges.
Formerly, we used to say that primary education is the foundation of education, but coming back to early childhood education, we see it as the foundation because it's from 0 to 5 years. Then whatever we cannot give to children of 0 to 5, I think it's not possible to give to age 6 years. So we have to catch them young. We have to teach them many things, social and emotional things that can affect their life in the future. So we have to.
We are still discussing. You know, the curriculum itself is beautiful, it's lovely, but the implementation, that is the end result. When you implement, you are going to, implement it either rightly or wrongly. So now the teachers that will implement in the classrooms, are they well trained? Do they really understand what the content of the curriculum is all about and how they can, implement it to the fullest. On the government too, the proper monitoring and supervision.
What part is government playing in improving early education, and what is needed to sustain efforts to attain the objective?
I want to refer to the biblical injunction that says, if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? See, let me tell you one thing. We cannot get it right at the higher level if we get it wrong at the lower level, at the early stage. So if we get it right, quality education in early childhood will ultimately result to better products, outcome in the higher education.
They gain more understanding, more knowledge, and they help in propagating, implementing the policies, and also, galvanized force within them. Because you can see what is happening in society now, especially in the education, so especially in schools. So safety for us now is non-negotiable. It's something that has to be in place.
At the end of the day, the consensus is that there is a need to create and ensure flexible learning environments to promote the growth and development of children, as well as an inclusive setting for children with special needs. At the same time, government must implement relevant policies, including the National Policy on Safety, Security and Violence-Free Schools, which acknowledges the need of safeguarding in all schools.
Now, we brought to you the story earlier that the crescent moon has been sighted in Nigeria, meaning that Eid al-Fitr celebration will begin in Nigeria on Friday. On Thursday evening, the Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar III, declared Friday 21st as Salah Day, following the sighting of the new moon of Shawwal in many places across the country. According to the monarch, reports on the new moon were received and verified by the National Moon Sighting Committee.
It is our pleasure to announce that today, Thursday, the 29th day of Ramadan 1444, which is equivalent to 20th April 2023, marked the end of Ramadan 1444 after Hijrah of our most noble leader, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We received reports from various states and organizations on the positive sighting of the new moon at different locations. Therefore, we have accepted such reports, but they have been confirmed and verified. Therefore, we declare that tomorrow, Friday, 21st April 2023, becomes the first day of Shawwal 1444 and the day for Eid al-Fitr.
Now, with the 2023 Ramadan fast almost over, the last 10 days are usually the most significant period for the Muslim Ummah as they perform the Taraweeh prayers. Bitrus Kuruti took a look at what it means for Muslim faithful in Maiduguri.
Ramadan is the holiest month in the Islamic calendar, as it's an obligation for Muslims worldwide to fast, pray, and exhibit charity. The most significant moments are the performance of night prayers known as Taraweeh, and these prayers hold great spiritual impartation on Muslims. Some Muslim Ummah see the night prayers as a time for deep devotion.
It was advice from our Prophet, because I heard that one lady said that when the 10 days come, Prophet ﷺ put more extra effort to pray on that 10 days in order to success in life.
Shawarar da zan ba sauran al'umma, abinda da zan ce musu kamar yadda muka yi azumi.
I'm so happy that I attended the night of prayers. It was a great experience. Many Muslims came out in their numbers, and we know Allah will accept our prayers. will advise my fellow Muslims to continue the life of fasting and live a holy life even after the Ramadan, because it will really keep us close to our Creator. The night prayers are also aimed at seeking God's forgiveness and purifying one's soul. Scholars believe that the night of prayers is an hour of submission to the Creator, Allah.
ayyukansu na alheri shi yasa al'umma suna wannan kwadaitar ladan Lailatul Qadr da kuma
The night of prayers is very significant because it's the hour that Allah revealed the Quran to Prophet Muhammad. That's why it's called Night of Power. And these prayers are equal to 1,000 months. And this happens in the last 10 days. That's why the Muslim Ummah dedicate their time for the prayers to receive blessings from Allah. Taraweeh is an opportunity to deepen one's spiritual connection with the divine before the end of Ramadan fast. Beatrice Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
Zakatul Fitr is a form of annual charity given to the needy as one of the activities that climax the fasting during the holy month of Ramadan. At a time of Eid al-Fitr celebrations, attention of many Muslims is attracted towards the execution of the religious directive of giving out Zakatul Fitr. Now, Abu Bakr Abdullahi in this report looks at how important this religious obligation is to the Muslim Ummah. The report is presented from our studio.
As the name implies, Zakatul Fitr is a zakat of charitable giving during the breaking of Ramadan fast. This is important not only for adults, but for every Muslim who, as they are expected to give out zakat, especially to those who are in need at the time of giving out the zakat. Umar Adika, the chief imam of Amala Masjid 500 Housing Estate, Lafia, Nasarawa State, takes us through the importance of giving out Zakatul Fitr by Muslims.
It is said that if this zakat is not paid on time, one's fasting or the reward for the fast may not be raised to the divine presence, to maybe hanging in the air. So, in addition, another hadith says that this zakat is one of the means of guarding or protecting the fasting person from some errors during the time of fasting. As we know, the fasting of Islam has to do with abstinence from eating, from drinking, and from sexual relations, from dawn to dusk.
The Islamic cleric added that usually zakats are given to the needy who are not able to feed themselves or families, rather than those who do not need the charity. He maintained that what can be given as charity are the basic staple foods used in a particular area, and only those that can afford are qualified to give. Speaking on Zakatul Fitr, Secretary General of Jama'atul Nasr al-Islam Nasarawa State, Muhammad Ali, encouraged Muslims to try as much as possible to give out Zakatul Fitr and benefit from its reward.
Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, if you did not give Zakatul Fitr, your fasting is lingering. It's lingering, just like pendulum. Therefore, by the time you give the Zakatul Fitr, and the fasting will go straight to where it is expected.
With the fasting almost done, those who took part in Zakatul Fitr are expected to reap bountifully from Almighty Allah.
Again, as the fasting of the month of Ramadan comes to an end, Muslim faithful have been reminded to give out Zakatul Fitr to the needy as enshrined in the religion. The chief imam of Kaduna Polytechnic Mosque, Sheikh Abu Bakr Sadiq Yusuf, says that the zakat must be given out to the beneficiaries before the Eid al-Fitr prayer on Eid Day. The report.
This form of charity, mandatory from sunset of the last 2 days of the fasting, and remains so until the beginning of Eid prayer.
Now, Zakat al-Fitr is a form of an arm giving that Rasulullah injuncted upon every financially affordable Muslim that can afford, feeding someone. And how it is done is, per person is 4 Mud Nabi. 4 Mud Nabi equals to 1 sa'i. The Mud Nabi is there, is being sold in the market, right? If you measure it 1, 2, 3, 4, that is per one person.
Besides the significance, certain class of people are entitled by Islam to benefit from the Zakat al-Fitr.
The criteria of the needs are, there are 8 categories that Allah had mentioned. That when somebody is giving out zakat, maybe zakat al-ain, zakat of money, he should give them. The first is nama sadaqatu lil fuqara. Fuqara are the poor. Wal masakin are the needy. So these are basically the 2 people that are opposed for any Muslim that wants to give us zakat al-fitr, to give it out to them.
The cleric also highlighted the wisdom behind giving out zakat al-fitr, which is obligatory on all Muslims.
One of the wisdoms is that the Prophet said, the Prophet said, you should try to provide for them so that they will not continue going from one house to house begging. So in other words, they expected to be provided so that they will also feel financially buoyant and otherwise. So that is it. There's no single Muslim that is expected to be seen on the Eid day being crying or being sad because he has nothing to cook for his family.
He enjoined Muslims who have the capacity to give out zakat al-fitr to do so in order to have the blessings of Allah. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The Anambra State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC says it has mobilized 877 officers and men of the command for the 2023 Salah celebration in the state. The public relations officer of the command, Okadibo Edwin, who disclosed this on Thursday in Awka, said that the deployment was to ensure safety and security of lives and property during the celebration. According to him, the state commandant, Isidore Chikere, has also assured the public of their safety in line with the order of Dr. Ahmed Abubakar Audi, the Commandant General of the NSCDC, for state commands to beef up security before, during, and beyond the festive period. Okadibo said that the officers will be deployed to enhance physical presence through mobile and foot patrol to specific areas of conveyance, such as major thoroughfares, transportation hubs, commercial areas, and places of worship. He urged the public to cooperate with the NSCDC and other security agencies to ensure effective security all through a celebration. Now, local shoemakers in Kano State are calling on the government to provide them with capital incentives that will sustain their trade. Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibrin reports that local shoemaking in Kano is currently employing hundreds and thousands of people, but is being threatened by a number of challenges. The report.
Sheets of leather laying in plain sight, waiting to be processed into footwear of different sizes. Over the years inside Kofar Wambai market, hundreds of youth are involved in shoemaking business. They say the trade is often inherited from their parents to be passed down to their children. You see, I've been doing this trade for over 30 years and I've learned it from my parents, and I am now teaching my children so that they can also learn how to stand on their feet. According to these people, period like this usually attract more patronage. Unfortunately, the shoemaking business in Kano is being threatened by a number of challenges. We are into this trade and we have a lot of challenges. Government is not helping us. We don't have capital, and even the raw materials that we used to buy, some of them we have to import them, and we are spending a lot of money in doing that. In most cases, you will produce many shoes, but there may be no gain out of it. So we need government to come in and assist us. Deep into the market, finished products can be found in various shops within the market as customers troop in for their Salah shopping. Business is brisk this year.
Sana'ar ta harkar takalma
Well, this year business is moving on smoothly, like always. You know, people have to wear shoes, especially during Salah. Many people used to come, like you can see the market. People are everywhere, and all of these people are buying shoes. So many people used to come here to buy shoes from different parts of not only Kano, northern Nigeria. With increasing opportunity in local shoemaking across Kano State, people like this are hoping that a common facilities center to be equipped with modern equipment may likely solve their problems. We have a common facility center in Kano which was initially established by Konkoso, and up to now this common facility center is working, but it is not working like the way we want it to be working. And we hope that the new incoming government will pay more attention to equipping this common facility center so that more shoes will be produced, more people will learn how to produce shoes in Kano State. Be that as it may, traders in Kopar Wambai are calling on government to pay more attention in improving the creativity of these young men and women shoemakers. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
Now, the Department of State Services on Thursday intercepted 2 gunmen in Kano State who concealed 2 rifles in sacks of yams. The suspects were in transit to deliver the arms when they were arrested. The spokesman of the Secret Police, Peter Afunaya, who disclosed this to journalists in Abuja, said they intercepted AK-47 assault rifles and 2 empty AK-47 magazines meant for a planned attack in one of the states in northern Nigeria ahead of the May 29 inauguration. He called on operators and patrons of fun, hospitality and tourism centers, particularly hoteliers, to beef their security during Eid al-Fitr period. However, the service wished the Muslim faithful peaceful and joyous Eid al-Fitr celebrations. You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Time for us to take a quick break. The News Hour continues shortly.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130...
Created a Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secure are they?
you can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
Or really, if you look at England squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at...
Welcome back. Now, the Federation Account Allocation Committee has shared a total of 714.629 billion naira as of March 2023 Federation revenue to the Federal, State and Local Government Council. A communique issued at the end of the FAC meeting for April 2023 said that the amount includes gross statutory revenue, value-added tax, exchange gain, and electronic money transfer levies. A breakdown of the figure showed that the federal government received 276.141 billion naira, the state received 232.129 billion naira, while the local government councils got 95.243 billion naira, while the oil-producing states received 35.102 billion naira as derivation. The communique added that the gross statutory revenue of the 638.673 billion naira was received for March 2023, while the gross revenue available from the value-added tax was 218.786 billion naira. According to the communique, in March 2023, petroleum profit tax, companies' income tax, oil and gas royalties, imports and excise duties, electronic money transfer levy increased remarkably, while value-added tax decreased considerably. Time now for us to take a look at the business updates with Chamaka Umafo.
Guarantee Trust Holding Company PLC has announced plans to slow down on lending and bond trading in Ghana following a $77 million, which is equivalent to 35.6 billion impairment in its West African subsidiary. The banking group said it will instead focus its activities on Nigeria and other high-yielding African markets to boost lending by about 15% in 2023. Group Chief Executive Officer of Guarantee Trust Holding Company, Segun Agbaje, discloses at an investor conference call in Lagos, where he noted that the decision will help the financial institution increase its 2022 profit before tax of 214.2 billion naira by 31%. Ghana exchanged 87.8 billion cedis of notes that paid an average of 19%, with bonds returning as little as 8.35%, resulting in losses of financial institutions. Ghanaian authorities are still negotiating with many overseas creditors. The European Parliament approved the world's first comprehensive rules to regulate the Wild West world of cryptocurrencies on Thursday, hoping to protect investors against abuse and manipulation. EU member states have already backed the legislation covering crypto assets, which include cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum and other tradable tokens whose value is secured using blockchain technology such as NFTs. The rules, now approved by a large majority of European lawmakers, hope to whip into shape an industry that has been beset by scandals and failures. Under the regulation known as Markets in Crypto Assets, MiCA, crypto asset service providers must protect customers' digital wallets and will be liable if they lose investors' crypto assets. And finally, in stocks, the Nigerian stock market on Thursday extended the uptrend as the all-share index grew by 0.35% to close at 51,355.74 points. Market capitalization appreciated by 0.35% to close at 27.963 trillion naira, adding 92 billion naira. The market break closed positive as 28 equities emerged as gainers against 16 equities that declined in their share prices. An aggregate of 600.8 million units of shares were traded in 4,309 deals valued at 5.05 billion naira. And that's it on Business News. I am Chiamaka Mwafo.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has again congratulated Nigeria's President-elect Bola Tinubu and invited him on a state visit to the European nation. The Ukrainian president said this in a statement he personally signed, according to Tinubu's media aide Tunde Rahman. Zelensky said that Ukraine is determined to further strengthen cooperation with Nigeria at the bilateral level and within the framework of international organizations, while expressing gratitude for Nigeria's support for the resolution of the General Assembly of the United Nations Organization principles of the UN Charter underlying a comprehensive, just and sustainable peace in Ukraine. Zelensky said he was counting on the active participation of Nigeria in its practical implementation. He invited Tinubu to pay an official visit to Ukraine at a convenient time, adding that he is confident the visit will strengthen the dialogue between both countries and contribute to further consolidation of joint efforts of the international community aimed at solving the urgent challenges of today, in particular the crisis situation caused by Russia regarding the guarantee of world food security. The federal government says consultations are ongoing as a response to requests by Nigerian students in Sudan for evacuation from the country. This was contained in a statement by Gabriel Odu for the Media, Public Relations and Protocols Unit of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission on Thursday. Odu said that NIDCOM was in consultation with the National Emergency Management Agency and also with the Nigerian Mission in Sudan and other relevant agencies. He said the chairman and CEO of NIDCOM, Abike Dabiri Erewa, urged all Nigerian students in Sudan as well as Nigerians living in Sudan to be security conscious and calm. Sudan is currently witnessing hostility between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary group Rapid Support Forces. On the foreign scene, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres on Thursday appealed for warring parties in Sudan to observe a ceasefire for at least 3 days so that civilians trapped in conflict zones can seek medical treatment, food, and other essential supplies. His call to silence the guns during the Eid al-Fitr celebration marking the end of Ramadan followed a virtual meeting on the crisis convened by the African Union. The AU meeting brought together the UN, the League of Arab States, the East African Bloc, IGAD, the European Union, and countries committed to bringing an end to the hostilities in Sudan, where rival military factions have been battling for power for nearly a week. Hundreds have been killed in the interim, including children. Humanitarians have been hampered from carrying out life-saving operations due to attacks and looting. Guterres said that the cessation of hostilities must be followed by serious dialogue, allowing for successful transition, starting with appointment of a civilian government.
We have just finished a meeting convened by the African Union on the dramatic situation in Sudan, bringing together the United Nations, the League of Arab States, IGAD, and the European Union, as well as representatives from a number of countries that are deeply committed to solving the crisis. There was a strong consensus on condemning the ongoing fighting in Sudan and calling for a cessation of hostilities. As an immediate priority, I appeal for a ceasefire to take place for at least 3 days, marking the Eid al-Fitr celebrations, to allow civilians trapped in conflict zones to escape and to seek medical treatment, food, and other essential supplies. This must be the first step in providing respite from the fighting and paving the way for a permanent ceasefire. I have been personally engaged in doing everything possible to make it happen. The cessation of hostilities must be followed by serious dialogue, allowing for the successful transition, starting with the appointment of a civilian government. The fighting must stop immediately. I am deeply concerned about the terrible toll on civilians, the appalling humanitarian situation, and the horrifying prospects of further escalation.
Time now for us to take a look at Sports Update with Adeni Ajishafe.
40 Nigerian coaches have passed their Federation International de Football FIVB Level 1 coaching course held at Moshood Abiola Stadium in Abuja. President of Nigerian Volleyball Federation Musa Nimrod charged the coaches to make judicious use of the knowledge acquired at the coaching course. Nimrod said the current board of the Nigerian Volleyball Federation believes in capacity building of various coaches across Nigeria. A total number of 45 coaches participated in the FIVB Level 1 coaching course that ran from 14 to 19 April 2023. And in table tennis, Chinese table tennis star Ma Long has praised African #1 and Nigerian star Haruna Quadri despite beating him in the first game at the WTT Championship. Former world #1 defeated Haruna in the first round of World Table Tennis Championship in Macau, China. Ma Long said the overall strength of Haruna, including the quality of his play, really puts pressure on him, praising Quadri for his really good forehand and backhand skills. Haruna and Ma Long were very close in the last 3 rounds, especially in the 3rd and 4th round, where Ma Long defeated Haruna 3-1 in the keenly contested game. And in athletics, Nigeria's queen of long jump, Ese Brume, has been confirmed by organizers of the Botswana Golden Grand Prix as one of the top athletes that will compete at the Continental Tour Gold Meeting in Gaborone on 29 April. The world indoor and outdoor silver medalists will lead the women's long jump list. The Olympic bronze medalists and Commonwealth champions hold an African record of 7.17 meters in long jump. Brume will take on African champion Matikola of Burkina Faso and German Olympian Maris Luzolo. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
With that, we wrap up the news hour for tonight, but you can watch more via all our social media platforms and also watch our YouTube live stream 247. I am Ayuba Ile. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.